Hey guys, today I'm making this reaction video about the Sony Zv-1 Mark II. Now I have the original Sony Zv-1 and I got it used for about $500 3 years ago. And at the time when it first came out, this thing was a powerhouse. So fast forwarding to today, Sony just announced the Sony Zv-1 Mark II, the successor to the ever popular Sony Zv-1. And guess what? The Sony Zv-1 is coming in at $900 and they want to charge $150 more than the original Zv-1 with basically the same specs. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you why you should not be buying the Sony Zv-1 Mark II and you should consider the original Zv-1 instead if you're in the market for that type of camera. Alright, it's 2023, we're getting the same video specs as the original Zv-1, which is maxed out at 4K 30, and now if you want 60 frames per second, then you have to drop down to 1080p. There's no S-Syntone, it's the same 8-bit recording, there are no megapixel bumps, presumably because they're using the same exact Exmor RS CMOS sensor as the original Zv-1, and keep that in mind, that sensor is like 5 years old. You do get a wider angle lens, full frame equivalent, you get 18 to 50mm, but you lose a couple things. One, you no longer have optical stabilization. It's digital stabilization only, and when you turn on active stabilization, it crops into around 20mm. The other thing about active stabilization is that you don't have a whole lot of options. It's either off, basically no stabilization, or on, which is active stabilization. You don't have anything in between because, for cost-saving purposes, Sony took out the optical stabilization. Number two, you're getting a slower lens. On the wide angle side, you still retain that f1.8. However, as soon as you zoom into 50mm, your aperture goes to f4. Versus on the original Zv-1, you get f1.8 on the wide side and f2.8 on the telephoto side. Still get the same crappy battery life rated at 45 minutes of movie recording or 290 photos. There are no cool AI reframe features like the Sony Zv-E1, you have to pay a lot more money for that. Last but not least is the price. It's $900 versus $749 brand new if you want to buy the original Zv-1. And on the used market, I've seen it as low as $500, which is the price that I got it for. Okay, essentially Sony decided to repackage the existing Sony Zv-1 with a lot of old parts, slap on a slightly wider angle lens but take out the optical stabilization to save cost, and give us similar video and photo specs that's practically 5 years old and charge us $150 more. Who do you think we are, Sony? Skip the Sony Zv-1 Mark II, forget all the sponsored hype by all the big YouTubers, and get the original Zv-1 instead. It's still a powerhouse and I use this camera for 80% of my videos on this channel. And if you do decide to buy the Sony Zv-1, I recommend you guys buying this newer wide angle lens conversion adapter. It's around $60. The lens is mounted onto the body of the camera with an adapter. There's no stick-on filter thread type of thing. It's straight mounted onto the body, which is great. I will make a review video of this lens later on, but for now I hope you guys find this video helpful if you're deciding whether or not to get the Sony Zv-1 Mark II or the Zv-1. And I can't wait to hear camera conspiracy rip into this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.